Good evening, guys. I'm not going to be doing a speech about Gaza today, even though it's absolutely horrendous what's happening in northern Gaza, and people's eyes should definitely be on Gaza at the moment because the Israelis have just decided to send lorries to the areas crossing to show to the press that they're doing that, and then once the press have left, they're stopping them going through. So I'm going to stop there and say that northern Gaza's suffering still to this moment to have no food whatsoever, and it's going to be a full displacement without the opportunity to come back. Tonight's message is about the farmers. What people need to understand is that we've got a certain amount of land that is used by British farmers. What the Labour Party have done is, by bringing in this death on taxes for farm businesses and family businesses, you've got to understand that these farmers are people who are skilled in their labour. They're not easy to replace, and they have a way of life which we in Britain rely on to give us the products that we need. We need British products. We need British, or the capacity and the national food security to remain in the hands of British farmers. The consequences of having these farms suddenly have because this is a new thing that the government is doing to them. This is brand new, that the farmers are having to pay 40% death taxes instead of having these businesses handed over family to family. The problem is that these businesses don't have that kind of money to be able to suddenly pay an extra 40% at the death of their loved ones. If any of you watch Jeremy Clarkson and what he's going through, you can see there isn't that much profit to be made. It's a way of life. It's a way of life for people in Britain to live their lives. And by that way of life, they're able to produce goods that we can rely on to be available to us as part of our national security, our national food security. It's not a good idea to suddenly have businesses or farms that are going to have an inability to pay their taxes. And guess what? Corporations like BlackRock, Vanguard, the wonderful Bill Gates, who's bought up more land in America and made himself the biggest landowner in America, and have these kind of corporations come over and take over our farming stock. We've only got a limited amount of it. Now, there is a billionaire class that is investing in everything because they're running out of things to invest. And one of the last few places that are left is our fishing sector and our land sector, as in our farming stock, that these people want to take over. And what we need to do is we need to let this government know that what they're doing is wrong. Because we as the Workers' Party look upon all of these people as people who are selling their labour to be able to survive and thrive. So we as the Workers' Party, last time that they came down with all their tractors to Westminster last year, we were there in numbers, had our stall out, and we were supporting them as best as we can. I'm not suggesting for one moment that any of these farmers or all of these farmers are suddenly Workers' Party people and support our economic standpoint or view. But we as the Workers' Party believe that the farmers need to be supported at this time, because we don't need to lose our security, our food security. We don't want to see these farmers suddenly being unable to do the job they've been trained to do intergenerationally. These people are people whose grandfathers were on the farms, their fathers are on the farm, their sons are going to be on the farms. They've got 5 or 6 kids, and all these guys know how to do is run these farms. So we need to keep British farming British. We need to allow British farmers to do what they do best, which is provide us with healthy food and give us our food security. Because without them, we're going to basically be handing over the resources to another person. Now, if you look at our electricity sector, if you look at our train sector, these things are owned by the national electricity in France. The French railways own our railways. What the hell are we doing? Why are we selling the things that are the crown jewels of our country to foreign people? And that is exactly what they're trying to do. They're trying to make life hard for farmers when things like this happen, to force them to do what? To get a reaction. And that reaction, unfortunately, if all the farmers were multimillionaires and billionaires, I couldn't care less. But they're normal, average Joe people trying their best to make money, to make a life and a living and a livelihood, which benefits the country. So I urge everyone, including the Workers' Party members who can make it, to come down to London on the 19th. There will be an event then. It may not allow everyone to come into it, but we need to be there to show our support to our farmers. They deserve the support of the nation. So please show up on the 19th. I think it's about 11 o'clock to 12 o'clock, Westminster Square, Westminster Palace, basically where it is. And let's get everyone behind the farmers. They need our help. And the whole country needs to get behind them. So I urge everyone to get behind the farmers, and let's just show our support on the 19th.